One of the natural responses to what you just said would be, okay, well, the priorities are, it's a rigged game because only women are the ones who are able to procreate. So what do we answer to that?
Of course it's a rigged game. Obviously it's a rigged game. Women have complicated lives, and the pill has made them more complicated. Well, that's not, I wouldn't say that exactly because, 100 years, in 1895, the average person in the Western world lived on $1 a day in today's money. Okay, so those people worked so hard and slaved away to such a degree that you can't even imagine it, and all their kids died, right? So the death rate among kids below 5 was beyond comprehension, and so women had a terrible time of it, and well, so did men. They got to be coal miners and soldiers, because that wasn't exactly entertaining, So life was very, 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 very hard before we got rich, and we're rich. Even those of you who are in this class who think you're poor, it's like, oh, no, you're not. You're in the top 1/10 of 1% by historical standards, and probably there by current world standards as well. Of course, you can just compare yourself to the few people who are richer than you and feel sorry for yourself. But that's pretty pathetic in my estimation. So it's certainly historically uninformed. So yeah, women have it rough, obviously. Now, there's other things to consider. You do live 8 years longer. So that's not trivial. Testosterone kills men. That's basically why men die earlier. And men are much more likely to be killed in dangerous jobs. They do almost all the dangerous jobs. They do almost all the outside work. And there's lots of reasons that men get paid more than women that have nothing to do with prejudice. It's because they take awful, horrible jobs, like working in the oil rigs in northern Alberta when it's bloody 40 below, and come out of that after 5 years with 2 or 3 fingers missing and all warped up. Because you really want to wrestle pipe when it's 40 below and it's filthy with a bunch of ordinary men who are hungover beyond belief. It's like, that's not very entertaining. So yeah, each gender, each sex has its own unfairness to deal with, but to think of that as a consequence of the social structure, it's like, come on, really? What about nature itself? And this is something that seems to be completely invisible on the left side of the political spectrum. It's like, of course you're bloody oppressed and your life is full of suffering, obviously. But to think about that as a direct consequence of unjust social structures is just moronic. It's like, that's part of the reason, a small part, but look where you're sitting, people. It's pretty warm in here. And you're so privileged you can come here on Saturday morning and listen to an intellectual lecture. It's like, you should be happy about that because by historical standards, you should be out lifting rocks in your skeletal form, about 5'3" with no teeth. So
Fighting with cougars.
Yeah, cougars and lions, yeah, exactly. So, there's no gratitude, that's the thing. There's no gratitude for what our society is capable of doing.